Hello, and welcome to Tuesday DJ Gig Tips. Brought to you, as always, by Vibo, the music planning app. And by the way, after this tip, we're all caught up. We can start fresh on Tuesday, and hopefully, I can actually get a tip out for you on Tuesday. If you hear barking in the background, I apologize. The dog is just making noise. I can't do much about it. I'd mentioned last time we talked that I booked an event. I turned a text message into a sales call, and I was able to actually sell the event without talking about myself. It was through a series of questions that I would ask and they would ask me, and through that we were able to show that, yeah, I am indeed a professional, I know what I'm doing, and they booked it. And it's a nice event too. They didn't know a whole lot about how to plan a wedding. They had a lot of questions about structure and music and how to organize things and even the ceremony. But there was one thing they did know about, and that was lighting. And it was one of the first questions she asked me. She said, "Do you have lighting?" I said, "Well, of course." And when we talked about it, she said, "You know, I called one DJ that my sister had recommended. And they said they had lighting and it spun around and moved, and I don't want anything like that. We were thinking more like maybe uplighting." I thought, well, that's cool. That's what I do. In fact, my uplighting doubles as dance lighting. I said, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing." And this isn't the first time I've heard somebody say something about lights that spun around and moved. Why would people have a problem with that? Well, a while back we talked about how an amateur mistake with lighting would be to hit people in the face with bright lights. They do this with PARs, they do it with moving heads, uncontrolled light shows, things like that. Now, people like Howie Darkstar, he's big on his little big show he has. They have moving heads, he can do spotlight dances and all kinds of neat stuff because he's controlling his lights well. The problem is, I don't think a lot of people are controlling their lights well, and therefore, lights that move around, moving heads, spinny dot lights, things like that are really getting a bad reputation because so many DJs are not using them effectively. In fact, they're using them in a negative way. These lights are interfering with photographs, they're blinding people, and they're not really creating the ambience that the DJ thinks they are. They may look great from the DJ's perspective from behind the booth. Oh, look at this crowd, it's washed, these lights are moving around, it looks great. Go out into the audience and have a look. It doesn't look as fantastic as you think it does. Responsible lighting design with moving heads and such would put the beams over people's heads where they're not getting hit in the face. But yeah, so many DJs are using lighting wrong, and customers are starting to see this, and they don't want it. Even if you're doing it well, it's hard to explain to them that you're doing it well, I think. Like, it's better off just to give them what they want. And I've heard this more than once. When I hear something one time, I think, wow, that's unique. But when I hear it more than once, it starts to sound like a trend. Maybe people are wising up to this. They're going to weddings, they're seeing this done wrong, and they just don't want this at their wedding. So what do? Do you invest in Abe lights? Not everybody has the budget for that, and I totally understand that. They are cool, though, because I can actually uplight around a dance floor strategically, and then hit a button and have fades and chases and all kinds of neat stuff. It's real easy. But there are other companies out there that have battery-powered, wireless-controlled uplighting, like Colorado Sound and Light has stuff. You can go on csnl.com and see what their offerings are. Very popular stuff. They've been around for a long time. Jim over there builds this stuff custom for everybody, and he can even update this stuff to do new things whenever an update comes out. I know people who have had his lights for several years, and new features come out, and turns out he can update these lights for you. You send him in, he does it for you, and yeah, you got like brand new lights. I don't know anybody else out there who does stuff like that, where it's battery powered and wireless controlled, which I think is key, because another thing that I mentioned to the client was my stuff is battery powered, so I do not need power outlets. I'm not at the mercy of that, and there's not going to be cables ran all over the place. Oh, that's fantastic. That means you can go past doorways if you have to. It's not an issue. It was an issue back in the day when everything was wired, when you had to DMX everything. You had to get throw rugs or think of clever ways to tape down cables so nobody would trip over this stuff. You don't have to worry about it anymore. No cables. I think that's a trend. And again, I think it's because so many people have used these lights irresponsibly that they're getting a bad reputation. And I know some people out there will argue with me on this. I know some people out there are doing big production events where they have moving heads and scanners and all kinds of neat stuff and big trussing systems. And that's cool. I mean, if you're doing giant proms and huge events where you have these big light shows and you're using them effectively, that's great. But at a simple wedding, I think people just want elegant lighting. They would rather not have anything that's going to cause any pain. They want pleasure, not pain. And that's what a lighting design such as this, I feel, delivers. Just an observation. Sorry about the noise. It's daytime. It's Saturday. Everyone's home. It's an old house. Floors creak. Anyway, that's a tip. Something to think about. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. That's it. We're all caught up now. So we'll see you next time. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your support. It means everything. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.